The verb in a sentence may consist of more than one word, and we can usually recognize the main verb as the verb, but sometimes those extra words are a little bit confusing. Those extra ones are called helping verbs or auxiliary verbs, and together they form what is called the verb phrase. The verb phrase is simply the main verb and all of its helping verbs. And helping verbs, I want you to think of as adding shades of meaning. So, some of the most common helping verbs also look like linking verbs. Am, is, are, was, and were. So any form of the verb to be, provided it's with another verb, is going to be a helping verb or an auxiliary verb, including being and been. Forms of the verb to have, and then other ones that you're going to see. And there's no other place to categorize them except as part of the verb phrase. So let's look at the first sentence here. The pizza will be devoured by the freshmen. We know the subject is pizza, and we recognize devoured as an action verb. We can sort of picture it happening. But then we've got these extra couple little words here. And those are, in fact, auxiliary verbs or helping verbs, so they are part of our verb phrase. Pizza will be devoured by the freshmen. So this whole thing is your verb. Let's look at the next sentence. I would have been delighted to take care of your kitten. We've got our subject here, I, and we sort of recognize the word delighted as the main verb, but there's three other words here that seem to add shades of meaning to it, and in fact, those three are part of the verb phrase. So the verb in this sentence is would have been delighted. And then last but not least, let's take a look at this final sentence. Did your dad give you a new catcher's mitt? Well, this one's a little bit more tricky because it's a question. And so dad is the subject of your sentence. And what did dad do? Well, he gave. So that's clearly part of the verb. But then we've got the other part over here. So one thing to remember is that in a question, in a sentence that's posed as a question, there can be other words in the middle of the verb phrase. So the verb in this sentence is did give. And if we were to turn this sentence around and make it a statement rather than a question, it would say, your dad did give you a new catcher's mitt. So verb phrases can be interrupted by other words, but they're all still part of the verb phrase.